Hi everyone, I hope that this video finds you well. Right now I'm just going to show you how you can create your own Buzzfeed style quiz in Google Slides. So we're going to start off here with a title. And so this quiz is going to be, what animal are you? You click on the plus sign to add a new slide. And then you're going to start off with question one. So I'm just going to say Q1. And then I'm going to type in my question. All right, and then I'm going to add three choices, choice A, B, and C, and I'm going to have my choices go from the most active option to the least active. So for example, we'll say sports is going to be the most active, so we're going to put score of 3. Then we're going to have another option. And then finally, the least active option. And that's going to be a score of 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add another slide. This one's going to be for question 2, but it's only going to be for the people who only received a score of 1 on the last question. So we're going to call it Q2 score 1. And then we're going to have another question. Okay, and then again, we're going to have A, B, C. We're going to have the most active at the top. We're going to say add 3 to score. Because at this point, we have a score of 1. If we answered this, 1 plus 3 would give us 4. So you just want to make sure that we're clear on what we're adding to our score. Then we're going to put our next choice. So that's going to be kind of our medium type of activity. Okay, and then our least active activity. Then what we're going to do here is we're actually going to duplicate this question, because this just says Q2 score 1. We want to have it direct people to a different slide if they currently have a score of 2, and then to a different slide if they currently have a score of 3. So again, we're just doing duplicate. Okay, so now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to add our question 3, and we're going to make it a 3-question quiz. So at this point, the lowest possible score is if somebody scored 1 point on question 1 and 1 point on question 2. That's going to give us a total of 2 points. So we're going to do a new slide. We're going to title it Q3 score 2. And then we're going to add our next question. Okay. And then once again, I'm going to have choice A, B, C, and I'm going to make it so that the top one, again, is the most active and the bottom one is the least active. And again, that's going to be add 3 to the current score. And then finally, our least active. And we're only going to add 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this slide so that we have our options for if your score is 3, 4, 5, 6, or 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so we're going to duplicate and then Q3 score 3, duplicate Q3 score 4. Duplicate Q3 score 5. And then finally, the highest possible one, duplicate, would be Q3 score 6. So if you had gotten 3 on question 1 and 3 on question 2, you'd currently be at a score of 6 for question 3. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new blank slide, and we're going to have our different options. So for our most active option, we're going to say that you are a honeybee. And you can have a description if you want, saying something about being active. But anyway, then what we're going to do is we're going to add another slide for kind of the moderately active animal, in which case we're going to say you are a beaver. And then finally, we'll have you are a koala. Koalas like to sleep a lot. Just to kind of make it more clear, what we're going to do temporarily is for each of them, we're going to say what the score would be to get to that. So, for example, if somebody has a score of 8 or 9, because honeybees are very active, and I would recommend putting that at the beginning just for now. And then we'll say score 5 to 7 would be a beaver. And then score 3 to 4 would be a koala, because they're choosing the least active activities. Okay, so now what you have to do is start creating your links. So go back over to question 1. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click and drag to highlight the choice where you score 3. Click on the link button here. And then you're going to click on slides in this presentation. And then what you're going to do is you're going to link to Q2 score 3 and apply. Likewise, you're going to repeat. This time we're going to link to Q2 score 2. And then finally link to Q2 score 1. Whoops. Okay. Then from here, we're going to go over to the next slide. So at this point, we have a score of 1. Choice A is going to add 1 plus 3. So we're going to link that to Q3 score 4. The next one would be score 1 plus 2. So we're going to link that to Q3 score 3. And then finally, if we have 1 point and we're only adding 1 more point, we're going to link to Q3 score 2. Okay, so then from here, what you're going to do is do the same thing with all of your other score question 2s rather. So again, what we're going to do is 2 plus 3. We're going to link it to 5. Question 3 score 5. 2 plus 2. Going to link it to score 4. And then 2 plus 1. We're going to link to Q3 score 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, and then same thing with the next one. 3 plus 3 is 6. So Q3 score 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. So Q3 score 4. Okay. All right, so now we're done with question 2. Now, question 3, you're going to figure that this is the last question. So the way that we have it set up is we have that if somebody gets a score of 3 or 4, they are going to be a koala. So anyway, if we go back to our first Q3, score 2, basically we know that if they were to answer either B or C, they're going to get 3 or 4. So we can highlight both of those, and we're going to insert link, and then we're going to link to the slide 3 to 4, you are a koala. Whoops, just hold on. Okay, so which is going to be the last one, slide 13. So you are a koala, because if they got, oh, actually, hold on, I made a mistake with that. Sorry, that's supposed to be on this slide. So score 2, if they were to add 1, that would give them a total score of 3. If they were to add 2 to 2, that would give them a total score of 4. So those two were going to be koalas. You are a koala. If we're adding 3 plus 2, that's going to bring us to the beaver option. You were a beaver, because 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay. Now we're going to repeat with the other question 3s. So basically, if somebody has a 3, if we're adding another 3, that's going to be 6. Adding 2 is going to be 5. So these would both go to the moderately active, because it's 5 and 6. So we would link that to you are a beaver. Three plus 1 is 4. So we would link that to you are a koala. Next one, this one's going to be super easy because 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 3 is 7. 5 to 7 is going to give us all beavers. All right, next we're going to have 5 plus 2 is 7. 5 plus 1 is 6. So these bottom two are going to be beavers. Whereas if you have a score of 5 and you're adding 3, that's going to be 8, which is going to bring us to a honeybee. So that's for score 8 or 9. And then likewise, slide 10, which is where you would go if you had a score of 6. If you were to add 6 plus 3 or 6 plus 2, you're in the 8 to 9 range. So we're going to link those to honeybee. And then finally, if somebody had a score of 6, but then they only added 1 more point, they're going to be at a 7, which is still going to be in the beaver range. Okay, so now pretty much what you can do is you can erase any of the stuff that indicates what the score would be. So for example, I'm just going to go back over to Q1, erase score 3, score 2, score 1, because then it won't be as obvious to your players or your quiz participants. So I'm just going to, again, erase any indication of what the score currently is or how much we're adding to the score. And actually, a nice fast way to be able to do that is if you hit Control F on your keyboard, that's going to bring this up, and you can click on the More Options dots. And then what you're going to do is type in score 2, and we're going to replace with a blank. Do the same thing. Oops. With score 3. And the same thing with score 4. Score 5. Score 6. Score 7. I think that would be it. Okay. And then likewise, we're going to get rid of the add 1 to score, replace all, add 2 to score, replace all, add 3 to score, replace all. Okay. So now it should come up so it's not as obvious as far as how many points you get. And now we can also delete the score 8 or 9, 5 through 7, and 3 through 4. Okay, so now if we were to go ahead and take this quiz, so just going to go ahead and hit present. So now let's say, for example, I say that I'm going to be doing sports, but I'd rather be seeing a movie with friends and do a tropical beach vacation. I'm a beaver, which is the medium active. Likewise, if I were going to choose, more of the active options, like let's say, for example, I said sports, pick up football, tropical beach vacation, you're a honeybee because that's going to be more active. Likewise, if you were to choose some of the more relaxing options, sleeping, drawing, painting, or reading, tropical vacation, you're a koala. So anyway, that's pretty much it as far as how to create your BuzzFeed style quiz. And remember, you want to click on share and share it to me, efoley@hanoverschools.org. And I hope you enjoyed this.